The shiur is dedicated in Yirmiyahu Le'ilu Nishmas Rachaleya Basav Chaim Tzvi. We're up to Perek Yudches in Yirmiyahu. Again, another fascinating Perek in the program that we've been studying, and we're going to, in the course of this Perek, be developing a very fundamental yesod in Nevuah, and we'll be discussing this according to a number of the Gedolei Rishonim. First, we'll just learn the pshat in the Perek before we go any further. The Navi begins, Hadavar asher hayal Yirmiyahu meis Hashem leimor. Yirmiyahu receives the Nevuah, and he's told, Kum v'yaradata beis hayotzer, go down to the house of the potter. V'shoma ashmiyacha es dvarai. And there, Hashem Yisbarach says, you'll hear that which I have to say. Pasuk Gimel indicates, Va'ered beis hayotzer. The Navi indicates that I went down to the house of the potter. V'hineyu oseh malach al ha'avnoyim. He's doing work on the wheels. The Rishonim discuss the language of Noyim. The Radak right away points out that of Noyim is Kli HaYotzer She'osalav HaKelim Mechomer Asher B'Yodo. The Radak in effect refers to the Kelim or the Kli that's used by a potter. Obviously he's going to make different types of Kelim, large vessels, small vessels, as the Marikra writes in his parish. But the Radak indicates that this is the Kli HaYotzer. And then the Radak goes further and quotes from the Sefer HaSharashim, and he writes that there, He'arachti b'pirusho, and there the Radak describes in the Sefer HaSharashim what exactly this Kli is. It has the shape of a mill, apparently consists of two flat, circular kind of blocks. There's a larger one below, there's a smaller one that lying above it, and this is quoted from Ibn Janach. And even though the Kli is called of Noyim, two stones, it was made of wood and not stone, but it resembled very much millstones. And if you look, for example, among the Mefarshim, you'll notice, for example, I saw in the Das Mikra that he writes that the bottom stone has a kind of pivot in the middle, and the upper stone had a hole into which the pivot would fit, and the potter somehow would rotate the bottom stone with his feet, and the upper stone therefore is rotating along with it. And with the upper stone, some of the clay is being shaped. And that's what the particular Kli is being described over here. Let's just read a few more psukim. Pasuk Dalid. V'nishchas hakli asher oseh b'chomer b'yad hayotzer. And the Kli somehow was destroyed, was mekulkol. V'shav. And once again, the Yotzer went ahead. Vayaseu Kli acher. He made another Kli. Kasher yosha be'eni hayotzer lasos. As the potter, the Yotzer, is wont to do. In other words, we have a Kli Malacha, and there was a kilkul that occurred in the Kli. Normally, the potter goes ahead and is able, using clay, to make kelim, and some of the Kli was mekulkul, and he made another Kli. Vayidvar Hashem elai limor. Hashem came to the Yirmiyahu, Navi told him, Hachayotzer hazeh lo uchal la'asos lachem beis Yisrael. In effect, what Hashem Yisbarach is saying, that you, Beis Yisrael, are no different than this Yotzer, this potter. Hinei kachomer b'yad hayotzer. You are clay in the hands of the potter. Kein atem biyodi Beis Yisrael. So too, you, Klal Yisrael, are biyodi, are in my hands, like clay. And as one can see in a moment, that the way the Malbim actually writes here in his parish, the Malbim points out that we have here an allegory The allegory consists of two chalokim. The first chalak is that the original kli was destroyed, was demolished, but the second part of the allegory is just as critical, that this destruction was of a temporary nature, for the Yotzer made another kli from the clay. And so too, Hashem Yisbarach, in the beautiful Mashal and Nimshal that's found here in Perek Ches, Hashem Yisbarach indicates, Rega adaber al goy v'amamlocha linsosh v'linsotz ulahavid. Rega, 1 second, I speak about a nation, to uproot it, to demolish it, to destroy it. B'shav agoyahu miraso, if that goy does tshuva, then of course Hashem Yisbarach as well will also follow in turn.